Tornado922 here, ready for part 2 of the question and answer session. And we kick it off with about 1,000 questions from Train Spot East. Hiya, Tornado922. Hello. I have 5 questions. How very dare you? Number 1. What's your favourite station on the West Coast Main Line? That would be Leighton Buzzard, because that's my hometown. So I'm familiar with the station and the history that it's steeped in, and how it's changed over the years. Number 2, what is your opinion on the new Northern Civity? Hello? New Northern Civity? Units taken over Pacers. I welcome them. As long as they're much more comfortable and not designed off the basis of an old British Leyland bus, we will be fine. 3, would you ever do trains in Ireland or Northern Ireland? Of course. I've seen a couple of vids of the Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland railways. I would happily film them. Number 4, what are your opinions on the new Class 88 for DRS? I've actually yet to see one in real life. I've seen countless videos online. Okay, obviously design-wise, no different to the 68, so a little bit bland. I do love the fact they're bi-mode though, so they've got diesel engines and run off the pantograph. Once I actually see one in action, then I'll be able to give a better opinion. And finally, a bit off topic, what is your favourite beer/lager brand company? Ooh! Well, okay. Well, let's go with bitter first. It'd have to be probably got to be with London Pride, I'd say. And lager, San Miguel. Can't be beaten. Right, on to Ricky Norris. What do you think of the alterations to the trains? HSTs transferred to Scott Reil and Class 800-801 Azumas along the Grepston Main Line and the East Coast Main Line. Well, I guess it was inevitable. The HSTs are the grand old age of 40, so they are getting on a bit. Okay, obviously it's sad to see them go, but times are changing. The Azumas, okay, they look just like the 395 Javelins. They're built by Hitachi, so the design's always going to be the same. They're designed to be sleek, glide through the air at high speeds. But yeah, they're okay. They're alright. I've got no qualms with them. The HC's transferred to Scott Rail. It's good they're getting moved. But it changed the scenery for them. And they're getting more life. Okay, they're not going to be travelling at 125 miles an hour anymore, because the line speeds in Scotland just simply don't accommodate that. But it will be nice to see them in the 4-car formations in the Scott Rail livery. So I'm very much looking forward to going up to Scotland and seeing those going along. The HSTs are also staying on the Great Western Line as well. They're keeping several dozen, primarily to work in the sort of the western areas of the country, with the 800s obviously doing the Paddington to Bristol, Cardiff and runs and whatnot. But yeah, no, I think it'll be good. It'll be good to see the old mixing in with the new. Right, Robert Christian. Hi, where would you like the ex-Greater Anglia stock to go to in 3 years' time? Or does that depend if River Trains Wales, West Midlands Trains and East Midlands Trains purchase new rolling stock? Well, the only way that you can ever see the Anglia stock saved, quite frankly, without being scrapped, is if the owners of those Mark III sets convert them to meet with the Disability Acts, so they have the automatic doors instead of the slammers, which they all still do. If I'm not mistaken, I was under the assumption that Transplant Express were going to be getting the Mark IIIs to run along the Mark Vs that they're going to be getting. I could be wrong. I'd like to see River Trains Wales take them on, extend their WAG services. Mind you, West Midlands Trains, this has been a bit of a bugbear for me. When London Midland do their London Euston to Crewe services, 9 times out of 10 it's a single 350 unit. Now, for a journey of that length, you probably have people that are going to be on the train throughout 90% of that journey. Really, I'd like to see like purpose-built intercity services, if you will, from them. So call it every single station like I normally would, but have a decent length consist with a catering car in the middle, just so you can get some snacks on the journey. Because I've been on it before from Milton Keynes to Crewe, and that's a bleeding long journey. If you're just sitting there and you've not had anything to nibble on in the mornings, you're sitting there, you're going to be somewhat peckish by the time you get to Crewe. So I wouldn't mind seeing them introduce some sort of catering or little buffet service, or even just sort of trolley running back and forth. East Midlands trains, if they're purchasing new rolling stock, HSTs are staying for us for the foreseeable future, because obviously the Midland Main Line electrification scheme got cancelled. So I'm not sure they're going to be getting any new rolling stock for the time being. The Train Spotter 5000, what are your thoughts about the redevelopment of Liverpool Lime Street? It's been a long time coming. They could definitely do with it. Obviously because they're going to get much longer trains, they're going to get busier services, so they could do with getting the station revamped really. Kieran Clark, which station do you like better, Finsbury Park or London King's Cross? London, because I've been to that station, I've not been to Finsbury Park. How much would you rate the Great Northern 387? I've yet to travel on a Great Northern 387, but having seen what they're not really considering they're not any different from 377s, they're all right. How comes Bletchley is right next to Milton Keynes? Okay, well, we all know Bletchley has been there for many, many years now. Milton Keynes turned 50 this year. It's the UK's newest city. It's it's the youngest city really. It's always expanding. It's the UK's fastest growing city. It was built to take the stress off London in particular, because a lot of the poorer areas of London were getting really, really underfunded, and people were living there in poor conditions. So basically Milton Keynes was built to take the strain away from the big cities, so people could move in, start afresh, have good careers, good houses, and basically Milton Keynes has over time expanded and taken Bletchley into it. Because obviously Bletchley wasn't the size that it is now. It would have been much smaller back in the day, but with redevelopment, it's obviously going to expand over time, and eventually Milton Keynes has incorporated itself into it. An example, say Linslade and Leighton Buzzard. You've got the Grand Union Canal runs through the centre. On one side is Leighton Buzzard, and the other side is Linslade. But because the two towns have or villages as they were, have joined into one town, the town itself is now collectively known as Leighton Buzzard. So what you'll find is Leighton Buzzard railway station is actually in Linslade, not Leighton Buzzard. But because they've joined, it's just accumulated into one town. So that's basically why Bletchley is now part of Milton Keynes, because Milton Keynes has expanded over the years, and it's just joined onto it. Much like Stony Stratford, Wolverton, they were all their own separate little villages at one stage or another, and little towns, and they just grew into one. So that's what's been going on. Billy Day, what has been the most annoying train spotting moment that's happened to you? It's probably when staff have approached me, asked what I've done, but they're not polite about it. They get in your face and go, "What are you doing? You can't be here. You need to leave." And I've tried to explain myself in as polite manner as possible that what I'm doing. They're like, no, we don't trust you. You can go away. Blah 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 blah. And they just kick off a fuss. So I'm rude back to them. I'd say to them, you know what, just shove it. Quite frankly, like, your regular name badge. I've got your name. Little email. Boom. It's simple. Quite frankly, if you're gonna come and slag me off, I will just give back to you as good as you get. If you can't take it, don't dish it out. It's as simple as that. Like, people can clearly see what I'm doing. I'm of no danger to the public. And yet you get these job worths that just think, I don't know what he's doing. I'll go annoy him then. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, other places, station staff walk up to you, ask what you're doing, you tell them, and you end up having a full-blown conversation with them about it. I mean, I remember one station I was at, some old gentleman at Bletchley, works for London Midland, happened to ask me about a certain freight train that came through. And I told him what it was, and I thought, oh, that would be it. He'd then go about his business, but he didn't. He stayed for the rest of the film, and me and him just got chatting. See, that's what I like. I like it when people actively engage. I don't like it when people are rude and snotty, because there's no need for it. Right, UK Railways, 2 questions. First one, what line is better, the West Coast Man or East Coast Man? My second one, how do you wash your beard? God, to do that coffee strong. Right. West Coast Main Line, primarily because of the variety of traction, and some of the stations are see much more traffic really. And how do you wash your beard? Well, there you see, it's a masterpiece. It's usually with hot water and soap. That's my secret. Stephen Casson, how do you deal with that person that always stands in front of you when videoing a train? I try and avoid that situation at all times, if I'm honest with you. I'll always make a point of, when I go filming, I stand to the extreme ends of the station, so I am well away from any Joe Public. If I'm filming at a really busy station where people standing in front of you is going to be inevitable, then so be it. Because when I'm filming, obviously I like to capture the trains and the surrounding areas, and I know some people, when they're filming, just want to film the trains and that's it, but I like to actually film everything and get a feel for how the station is, so you get a sense of the busyness, the vibe. So I'm always get people stand in front of me sometimes, and some of them are a bit sort of, they couldn't give a monkeys. Others do apologise, say no, it's fine. Like, and if I'm filming sometimes, I've got people stand next to me, and they can see that I'm filming, they don't want to get the shot, I say, no, go on, after you, it's all good. And some of them try and duck to get under it, but I say, I don't mind. As long as you're not going to just stand like slap bang, so I can't see a thing, then it's alright. I mean, you could stand wherever you like, really. I just don't mind. As long as you don't stand slap bang in front of me, then I don't have an issue. Right, sporting mix. How do you get that onto the platforms at big stations? I used to literally just rock up and start filming. But recently I have actually now gone to the Network Rail offices at the stations and signed in and asked for permission. But yeah, best thing to do is ask for permission at any station, or not ask for permission as such, but let the station staff aware of what you're going to be doing, and just almost run through what you do. Like, for argument's sake, I don't use this tablet for filming on, but if I were to, I'd say to them that this is what I'm going to be filming on. This is the camera. This is the quality. If I zoom in X amount, it blurs everything, so I've got no chance of catching people's faces. And usually they're all tickety-boo. Paul Towner Dunn. Will you ever do sandhills on the Northern Line of Merseyrail? Never thought about it, if I'm honest with you, but I can do. Best of Svenska YouTubers. What is your favourite train operator in Britain? Great Western Railway, I'd have to say, because of the variety of rolling stock that they have. They've got 800s, HSTs, 387s, 166, 165, 142s, 158s, and 150s. They have pretty much a bit of everything. Kieran Clark, you're making a habit of this. Have you ever seen trains in Ireland or Northern Ireland? Only on YouTube, not in person. When will Great Northern 313s have the new livery? They won't, because they are going to be scrapped. Kieran Clark, when are you going trains to Stevenage again? Not till next year. Kieran Clark again, when will you go to Cambridge North? Next year. Right, Thomas Norton. I ask you this every time, but when will you come to Northern Ireland and or the Republic of Ireland? Also, let me know, please, if you intend to come over. Of course, I will obviously let you know when I do come over, but it's down to when I can get time available off work, really. So I'm not going to give any definitive answers, but when I know, you will know. Thomas Norton again. Do you have any siblings, or are you an only child? I am an only child. Thomas Norton again. What current disused line would you like to see reopened? I'd actually like to, well, the track's been taken up now, but I'd like to see the line put back in that went from Northampton and ran through Brackmills Industrial Estate and would head towards the likes of Bedford. I'd like to see that line brought back in. Thomas Norton again. Who's got the better haircut, Donald Trump or Kim Jong-un? Well, I wouldn't have it, put it that way. Any of them. Thomas Norton again. Will you do Marylebone Station between 4 o'clock and 6:30 on a weekday during the Chiltern Manor series, since all 5 diagrams depart or arrive at Marylebone during that time? He means the 68 diagrams. I would do it. To get there for that time, I'd have to take time off work to do it. So I'm not too sure really, because I don't know when the series is actually going to finish. But all I can do is just try as best as possible. Phil 37, which station does the best brew and food? So Newcastle has got a good station pub on the go, but most of the stations just have like pumpkin cafes. They do crisps, chocolate bars, paninis, and various other bits. So yeah, I think Newcastle gets my vote. Thomas Norton again. Since the Midland Main Line electrification is off, do you think cross country should take HSTs from Great Western Railway, like Scott Reil are doing, because voyages are always crammed full and they won't be getting any cascaded meridians anytime soon to increase capacity? Yeah, the meridians are staying with these Midlands trains. The HSTs are staying with these Midlands trains. I think there's like 50 of the HSTs from Great Western Railway are going to Scott Reil. The remaining are staying with Great Western Railway. Although from what I hear, and this is rumours, this isn't fact, there is a rumour going around that cross country are going to be getting Great Western HSTs to expand their fleet at some stage, because as you say, 4-car 220 Voyagers, even the 5-car Super Voyagers, it's ridiculous. There's just no, like in peak time, not even in peak time, just even in the middle of the day, I've seen trains that are crammed to the rafters, and especially seeing as each cross-country service goes through Birmingham New Street, so you're always going to pick up hundreds of people. So yeah, they could do with like bigging up their fleet. Nathan BCFC Hunt Asbo. Hi mate, could you do a video at Smethwick Galton Bridge please? I've done one in the past on the West Coast Main Line section. Not entirely sure if I would go back, if I'm honest. The station was good, but I don't know. Owen Jello 5000. This is also another question, if I can get my words out. Do you play Minecraft? No, I don't. Right, TN Productions. Hello, I would love to know what train is your favourite, and if you could maybe do a train at Forest Gate on the Great Eastern Main Line. It is my local station. Thanks, and keep up with the fantastic train spotting. Well, thank you ever so much for saying so. Any kind words are greatly appreciated all the time. Train is my favourite. Again, I haven't answered this in part 2, so I shall answer this one for you. It depends on the role of the train. So, commuter is the 321, intercity is the HST, international is the 373, and freight would be the 70. And there's them off. Yes, hello. And would I do Forest Gate on the Great Eastern Main Line? Yes, no, I'll certainly get around to doing that at some stage. Kieran Clark again. On freights, why do they always have Maersk cargo? Maersk is one of the biggest container shipping companies in the world. They have a huge fleet of ships. So their container traffic is astonishing. You will always see at least 1 or 2 containers on any intermodal train, really. You do obviously get the occasional one that doesn't have one on there, but 9 times out of 10 you will find a Maersk container on an intermodal train. If not, you'll see it on the road on a low-loaded lorry. JMP Rail Watcher. What is your favourite train and favourite railway? Well, favourite train, I just answered that. It depends on the type of train, really. Favourite railway, it's the West Coast Main Line. Daniel Burry, I love your videos. Well, thank you ever so much for saying so. That is greatly appreciated. KTV videos. Hey Jared, hope you're well and looking forward to that coveted sub-special soon. I should just pause there and say that ever since I've reached 3,500 subscribers, I will be doing a special video, or 2 should I say, sorry. One at Plymouth and the other will be at Dawlish. Dates for those have yet to be announced. Right, 2 questions for you. 1, what is your opinion on the first MTR takeover of the Southwestern Railway franchise? Well, it's a long time coming. Stagecoach have had that for 24 years now. I think they're one of the longest running operators going. I think Chiltern are the only ones, or even First and Chiltern, because Chiltern have been going since privatisation, and First I think have had the Great Western Main Line since it was privatised as well. But no, Stagecoach, that's run its course. There's only so much they could do, and they lost this contract because they failed to meet the tender agreements for a new franchise. Obviously, the Office of Rail Regulations put the contract up for tender, and obviously First MTR put a bid in, and they outlined their plans for the railway and what they can do, and obviously they were impressed and were awarded the bid. There is some controversy though, however. As you're aware, Southwest Trains had bought the 707 Desiros in, and First MTR are getting rid of them and replacing them with Adventurers built by Bombardier. Now, the Office for Railroad Regulations, in fact even the Transport Secretary, has just recently come out and said that there is going to be life for the 707s. He's actually going to forbid First MTR from getting rid of them because they've literally just entered service as Southwest Trains went kaput. So yeah, First MTR have got some big boots to fill. Obviously it didn't all go smoothly for them because they commenced operations when Waterloo was undergoing that refurbishment, when a 456 decided to go and play bumper cars with a GBRF engineering train, and that was the signaler's fault as well. But I reckon they'll do well. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy start to go with, but they'll get there. And 2, if you could pick any train journey you have found the most scenic, what would it be? By far and away, it is in Switzerland. Well, in fact, I tell a lie, it's a combination of journey from Bergamo in Italy to Milan, then Milan to Chiasso on the Italian-Swiss border, in a canton called Canton Ticino. It's an Italian-speaking region of Switzerland because Switzerland doesn't actually have its own generic language. It's broken down into a series of languages. You have Italian sections, the German, and the French. There's also a Romansh language spoken as well, more in central Switzerland, but it's a very rare dialect. So you mostly find it's German, Italian, and French spoken in Switzerland. And each canton or county, as we would know it as, has names based on its respective areas to its neighbouring countries. So yeah, I see it was Bergamo to Milan, Milan to Chiasso, and then Chiasso on the Gotthard line to Lugano through a causeway on the town called Lide. and it is just stunning, absolutely stunning. The Gamer, what got you into trains? Back in the late 90s, I used to go to my grandparents whilst my mum went to work, and my grandparents lived in Leighton Buzzard, still do, opposite Leighton Buzzard railway station. So every day I'd see trains going past, and at first I was like, oh, okay. And then I started paying more and more attention to them, and I just started getting hooked ever since. And then I saw an LMS liveried steam engine come through. I think it was Galatia. She came through on platform 1, the far sign that Intercity, the then Intercity, used to use. I was like, wow, that is brilliant. I've just been going ever since, and then my love and interest for them has just grown and grown and grown and grown. Chilton 006, do you drink tea or coffee? Right, train spotting 1, 2, 3. What was your favourite station in Great Britain? It'd be Doncaster Station, because it's not necessarily because of the size, but because of the variety of traffic. West... Good lord, how do I pronounce this? The West Colds. What do you do with your videos once they are on YouTube? Do you delete them from your tablet? Yes, I do. So, literally, as soon as the video gets uploaded to YouTube and it's all truth, pardon me, and it's all present and correct, then yes, the films do get deleted off my tablet to make space for the next film. Right, okay then. Neo Reynolds. Hi Tornado, can you please do trains at Brighton and Clapham Junction, and also can you tell me the route from Crewe to London? Euston stops at Leighton Buzzard. Can you film a journey from Brighton to Bristol, please? I'm not going to read the rest of that because that pretty much tells me how to do it. Brighton, yes, I've been meaning to go there for since I've started filming trains. Really, I've been meaning to go down there. Clapham Junction, it's the last film of every year that I go to. It's sort of my Christmas send off before I have my break, before I start filming again at the end of January. Can you tell me the route from Crewe to London that stops at Leighton Buzzard? Right, the Crewe services don't actually stop at Leighton Buzzard. There's I think 1 or 2 trains first thing in the morning and quite later on in the evening that do. And not all of them stop at the 2 stations before Stoke-on-Trent. So obviously you've got Crewe. I can't remember the other 2 before Stoke-on-Trent, but there's Stoke-on-Trent. There's Stone, which is a hit and miss one for some of them. After Stone, you've then got Stafford. Then goes to Lichfield Trent Valley, Rugeley Trent Valley, Atherstone, Nuneaton, Rugby, Milton Keynes Central, and then straight to London Euston. If it does stop at Leighton Buzzard, then it goes via Northampton, which means it will also stop at Rugby. Did I say when I went to Nuneaton? Did I go Nuneaton straight to Milton Keynes? No, it's Nuneaton, Rugby, then Milton Keynes. If it's stopping at Leighton Buzzard, which is a rarity, then it will go to Long Buckby, Northampton, skip through Wolverton, Milton Keynes Central, Leighton Buzzard, perhaps Watford Junction, and then London Euston. Ferry Hall Train Spotter. Do you have a rail card that lets you get cheaper ticket? If so, what is it called? It's a 16 to 25 rail card, or a young person's rail card. It, I think, knocks 30% or 13% or however much off the overall price of a ticket. Yo-yo trains. Do you like 73s? Yes, I do. In fact, the last time I saw a 73 was when I was filming at Gatwick Airport, and 2 of them came through on an engineer's train using their third rail, or the shoe, as it's called. I remember it gave off this cracking spark. I just literally I turned around and massive, it's astonishing spark. It was fantastic. British Train Spotter. Can you go to Ampthill Industrial Estate on the Midland Main Line, please, 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 please? Yeah, once I've finished my Chiltern series, excuse me, I'm having a mad tonight. Yeah, once I finish my Chiltern series, Ampthill Industrial Estate is one of the places I do intend to go to. Cineworld Reels. So, out of the 91 and the 43, which are you more upset about losing, and do you think the 800s are a worthy replacement of the old legends? Dr. Yellow. Out of the 91 and 43, which are you more upset about losing? If I'm honest, it's the 91s, because the 43s are going on to greater pastures, so they're still getting life, which is good. The 91s, there's actually a thing about the 91s. Virgin Trains East Coast are going to keep, I think, a couple of their sets for the Anglo-Scottish runs. Alliance Rail want to use 91s in 6 or 7 car formations and run daily services from London Euston to Blackpool North. One of the stations I want to call at is Milton Keynes. They did want to use Pendolinos, but they couldn't actually get anything finalised. So what they want to do is use 91s and have some of them stored at Crewe, which would be good. Tony Merritt. Do many people comment how much you sound like Josh Whitcomb, or am I the first one? You are indeed the first one. Kieran Clark, when I film, would you like to see them? Of course. Once you let me know once you've started filming, I'll start watching and I'll give you my honest feedback. Kasabian Plan 44, what's your favourite train? Not type of train, a specific unit, e.g. -444044. Okay, let's go with 92015, on the basis that in January this year I went to Barking, courtesy of ITV London, to witness the first DB Cargo UK freight train from China to the UK, and 92015 was the leading loco coming in at the time, and I have a picture of myself standing in front of that when I was having my interview with ITV. So that's my favourite loco. XX Gaming CPXX, do you play any train games such as simulators? I play Trains 12 by NEV Games, formerly Oran. I'm not too keen on like Railworks, because I prefer the freedom that Trains gives you with the accessibility to build things and sort of the level of creativity that you can go with. Obviously, Railworks, or Train Simulator, like, or TS, like 2014 as it's now known, or 2016 or whatever it is now. Obviously the level of realism is that much greater, but obviously with the settings in Trains, you can alter it to make it as realistic as humanly possible, which I do. I like the ability to have more freedom with things. Random name here, Engelberg Humperdinck. Have you been watching the All of Stations channel? If so, what do you think? I haven't actually been watching any of it, if I'm honest with you. I do know what it's about. I believe isn't the Londonist? Is that the chap's name? Wants to go for all 3,300 and something stupid stations in the UK. Personally, I think fair play to you, mate. Crack on. If you can do it, then fair play to you. I'm all for it. I would happily do it myself, but I simply don't have the funds to do it. HST Spotter. Hi. Hello. What do you think to the East Midlands Trains HSTs? Well, they all got BP 185 engines in them, so you can't go wrong. Not all of them scream, but when they do, my God, it's like I've died and gone to heaven. Thomas Norton. In 2019, when Transpennine Express used Class 68s from Liverpool to Newcastle / Middlesbrough, would you consider doing a Transpennine Express series from Newcastle to Liverpool or vice versa on the same way you're currently doing a Chiltern Mainline series? Yes. I must admit I hadn't thought of that. I've outlined already my plans for railway series. I've got Great Western, then I'm going to be doing Great no, Great Western, Midland Main Line, Great Eastern, East Coast, South Western Main Line. I will then do a Trans-Pennine Express series as my next one. After all of that list, so it's going to be a few years yet. Liam Doricott, will you be doing any videos in Shropshire anytime soon? Not for this year, I'm afraid, but next year I'm sure I can. Kasabian Fan 44, also one more question. You've said before that Seven Sisters is your least favourite station because of rude staff. It is. But what do you think is the worst station from a train spotting perspective? From my own personal experience, it has to be Stourbridge Junction, because really there's just nothing there. You got 139 people parrying over, and it's just a bombardment of 172s. So, yeah, really, it's not all that what it's cracked up to be. No, go away. There we go. Oh, and our final question. I've gone through 119 comments already in 2 videos. I didn't think I would. Right, got 3 questions. Alright then. Number 1. Will you be returning to the Great Eastern Main Line between Stratford and Shenfield? Yes. In 2 years' time, when I do a railway series from, hopefully, from London Liverpool Street to Norwich. 2. What's your favourite station in East London / Essex? Rainham, I'd have to say. 3. Can you do some stations at night, preferably in London? Well, I can do. I have the winter on my side. In grand scheme of things, I'll probably end up doing London Marylebone during the night, if I'm honest with you. I've got no qualms with filming at night, so I think it'll be quite good. So yes, right, that is that, guys. Thank you all ever so much for contributing to this. It has been absolutely fantastic. I can't honestly, I can't thank you guys enough. Right, it's fantastic. The effort you guys go into just to put these comments down, put these questions towards me. It is honestly brilliant. Like, I would never have thought that a little simple channel as this would generate so much attention from people. Especially considering you have other YouTubers out there that sort of really take the time and effort into editing their videos and putting intros and outros, and there's me, I just press pause and record me. I don't know if I'll be able to, if you guys will be able to see it on this particular tablet. I'll see if I can try and show you what I mean. Obviously the layout to this tablet is completely different to that one, because this is a Livono tablet, whereas I use a Samsung. But the theory is still the same. I don't really know how if this is going to work, but it can. It will work. Okay, you can see here, this is the record button, so it's now recording. So the pause button is actually down here, so this is literally all I do. Pause. That's it. I've filmed a train coming and going. I've done all my commentary and whatnot. So now I'm waiting for a train to come past. Train's coming along. Unpause. Film the train. Do commentary. And pause. That's literally what I do. There's no fancy editing. There's no gimmicks. There's literally nothing at all. That is literally what I do. But it works for me, so I can't go wrong. But yes, thank you guys ever so much for contributing to this. It really does mean a huge amount, and this is what I do at least once every year. I may start getting into the habit of doing 2 question and answer sessions each year, maybe one at the start and one in the middle half, if not the later half of the year, just to keep you guys more involved. This is what I do. I like getting you guys involved in what I do. I don't just do filming for trains. I like to try and actively get you guys involved in what I do as well, because I want you guys to feel more involved in what I do. So, yes, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope I've answered all your questions to the best of my ability. And I shall see you all in my next film, which will be from Warwick. And then after that, it'll be Leamington Spa, Banbury, and King Sutton. And we shall go on from there. And I may do some more little videos of this as such. I'm also going to be starting a new type of videos on my channel. Each month I'm going to be doing Rail News UK, and I'll be looking at the latest news each month on the British Rail Network. So the first episode of this will be filmed in the later stages of September, so I can gather as much information as possible. So, until next time, from me, Tornado922, I shall see you all later. Take care, guys.